Hello there, good evening. You are watching Wednesday's Look North on the programme tonight. A North Yorkshire mum is raising awareness about brain tumours after her own misdiagnosis.
That was the hardest thing because, you kind of punched the ground and you've got to get yourself back up again, and you've told other people you're okay, and you've told your kids it's okay, and then you've got to go, actually, no, it's not.
We'll hear about investment in brain tumour research. I felt flawed and blindsided. The thoughts of a 46-year-old woman from the Yorkshire Dales diagnosed with a brain tumour. Lizzie Pitt from Horswick was initially told that her illness was manageable, but after surgery and treatment in Leeds came a devastating prognosis that the cancer was in fact terminal. Keen to raise awareness for better research and treatment, Lizzie's spoken to Heidi Tomlinson.
If it was up to me, we'd have cheese on toast every night.
Trying to carry on as normal, Lizzie and Alpit are concentrating on good nutrition, but life has changed immeasurably after an incident last year.
And I was literally sat on the settee, had my laptop out, and got up, must have got up to have the seizure, but not knowing. On the floor, our son comes downstairs and shouts up to Dad, Al, who'd gone to bed, saying, Mum's acting weird.
Scans revealed a brain tumour. Initially, it was thought to be slow growing.
And they said, it's better than we thought. It's 90% grade 2, 10% grade 3. So I was so relieved because I thought, well, that's doable. I can work with that.
However, awake brain surgery was brought forward to remove part of the tumour and take a biopsy. 2 weeks later, Lizzie was called in early to be told again it was a low-grade tumour. But a month on came the worst possible news. It was a glioblastoma, aggressive and incurable.
The fact that I was told it was a lower grade than it was, giving that false hope, that was the hardest thing because, you kind of punched the ground and you've got to get yourself back up again, and you've told other people you're okay, and you've told your kids it's okay, and then you've got to go, actually, no, it's not.
Leeds Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust has offered a sincere apology that Lizzie's diagnosis was not clearly communicated, saying the true extent of glioblastoma can only be confirmed through tests over a period of time. This is a rare form of cancer and Lizzie's condition advanced quickly. She's now being supported by our cancer team. After radiotherapy and chemo, a more holistic approach. Lizzie believes supplements may help to prolong life and is now looking into immunotherapy in Germany.
Yes, if you hadn't shared that GoFundMe link, Rowan, there's absolutely no way we would have made the money we made.
Her 18-year-old daughter, Rowan, is helping with the fundraising. Family life at home become a lot more special, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've always been a really close family, but I feel like you really appreciate it more, and you realise you are lucky for what you've got.
Yeah, because you're very close, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. My best friend. Yeah.
It's always there in the back of your head, but it's sort of like the elephant in the room. Even though you do try and not ignore things, but just carry on, especially for the kids and stuff, just try and, make them have a normal life.
Ooh, we're going to get blown away here, Felix. When I first came out of hospital, I was saying to people, why do we wait for a special occasion? Every day is a special occasion. Every day is a gift. No one's guaranteed tomorrow. Sounds a cliche, but it's true.
Time with family is precious. The only focus, the only way to cope is to cherish every moment. Heidi Tomlinson, BBC Look North, Horswick.
Well, we do wish Lizzie well. Earlier I spoke to Dr. Anke Bruning Richardson, who's a senior lecturer at the University of Huddersfield and a trustee of Yorkshire's Brain Tumour Charity. I began by asking her how unusual it is for a misdiagnosis like Lizzie had when it comes to brain tumours.
Well, I wouldn't say it's unusual. You hear more and more cases about it, and that's because the symptoms associated with brain tumours are really vague, because they are associated maybe with other brain disorders or diseases. So you wouldn't necessarily sort of associate them with a brain tumour. So in this case, this would happen, that there's a misdiagnosis.
When it comes to certain cancers like breast cancer, bowel cancer, we often hear about new treatments that are coming through. Why is that not happening with brain cancers?
Well, brain cancers are very different, a very sort of more aggressive disease. They're what we call heterogeneous cancers, so they're built up in a completely different way than the other cancer types. So we have at the moment only really one drug that we've been using for the last 30 years. And we also need more funding. So we are heavily underfunded. So maybe we get about 2% of the total money spent on cancer research. So you can see how we're lagging behind in that respect, that we haven't got the facilities or the money to do groundbreaking or more groundbreaking research.
The government announced, didn't it, only a couple of months ago, 13.7 million for brain cancer research.
Yes.
How much of a difference will that make?
That will make a huge difference. If you think about, for example, if I do a 3-year project in my lab for research, it will cost around £300,000 to really have somebody in place that can do the research. Obviously the facilities, the reagents and so on. So you can see how much that money will make in terms of, output and, getting us results that we really need.
Yeah, we know people often struggle to access trials, don't they? The National Cancer Plan that was recently announced, how will that help people with this sort of cancer?
Well, I think it will really allow streamlining, sort of assigning people to the right clinical trials. Before that, I think it ran mainly through the clinicians that were treating the patients, but now if it's more coordinated, hopefully these particular patients will have access to the trials and, benefit from that.
And to specialists as well in that area?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Anke, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.